Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends opinion. Let's share, collaborate, but most of all, let's fight.
One we're going to talk about quickly regarding the current events that just went live in the game, and as always we only had 48 hours notice from Plarium. I'm not sure why that's always the case, that you get the information about the upcoming events and what's happening for the week 48 hours before. It's one of my major issues with this game. The other games I have played in the past are not like this. You usually know a month in advance everything that's coming for the month and when the events are going to happen and what's contained within those events. This is one of the big beefs I have with the game. This fallacy that if they don't give you information, you are more likely to spend money when you're unprepared. That's just not true, and I would like to see some evidence towards that's gonna increase revenue somehow. It's not little kids playing this game. In my experience, most of the people playing this game are adults like me, and unfortunately we have very busy lives. Some of you may have kids, work, school, other schedules. You have to plan, and you have to plan your spending. That's just how we live life. But anyways, let's get to the events. We got a champion training event going on that just sort of pop up without any notice 24 hours before it, after we already had two other training events in the past 12 days. So it's been tough to keep up with all these training events. However, here we are. I was lucky enough to decide not to upgrade Pelops right away after the fusion. I thought about it and I said, you know what, he's not gonna change my account immediately. He's not gonna do anything for me today. I can wait till the weekend. I'm sure there's gonna be a training event coming, and then I'll get some points from upgrading Pelops. Turn out I didn't have to wait till Friday for a training event because we get a surprise training event on a Tuesday. And here we are. So I already got some points before I started recording. I dropped my legendary books into Pelops right away because I'm not a very patient person. And after I dropped the books on him, I also took him from 5-star to 6-star. I still have some grinding to do to get him all the way up, and I also need to use my epic tomes. So let's see who we can use these epic tomes on. I think all my epics are booked for the most part the way I want them, but let's see if we could find any epics in here to throw some tomes on. See how many we have. We have 11. That's not bad. That's a little bit of points there to help out with the event. And let's see, who could we put? I don't use any of these epics anymore, so I don't really care. I recently got him, Deacon Armstrong, so let's book him. Use. All right, 3 more books there. Get a few points, 225 points, and then I saw, here we go, the priest over here. We're gonna book him as well. That's gonna take all our books. That's not bad. He's great for a dragon. I don't need him anymore because I just have better champions to use, but he can basically solo dragon 20 on his own if you have the right regeneration gear. By the time I got him on this account, I already had better options. Sometimes that's just the way it works. And I plan to do training with whatever books I get over the next few days from Clan Boss, and basically by using energy to do campaign and level up champions. And now let's talk a little bit about this Titan event that we got here. I was wondering right after I got my Pelops how I was gonna get the souls, and I already seen a few videos out there about whether the soul is important and what level soul you should get. I'm not gonna tell you about that. If you want to hear about which soul you should get, there are much more experienced YouTubers that know more about the technicalities of how much accuracy he needs, which I think he does need accuracy, and whether the soul is worth it for him or not. That is simply not how I approach the game. These are the activities we have. If you are an active player that spends his resources every day and dedicates a certain amount every day, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing the events that are gonna give you points in a Titan event, because you're gonna get the point regardless just by doing regular events. And if you don't get Pelops and you don't want his soul, you'll still get resources. in here that will help your account. Whether you're doing Classic Arena or some of the events that are coming, you'll get a few resources. However, if you have Pelops and you can get his soul, you should be trying to get it. You have 1,500 points to get. I know when the champ chase comes, it's going to be tough, and the summon rush is also going to be tough because you will probably need to participate in them, and those are usually the toughest events. And I know that the popular opinion tends to be, what should you skip? I always disagree with that advice when I see other people saying, here's the plan for the fusion, here's the plan for the Titan event, here's the plan for the path. Immediately, the moment it comes out, you should plan to skip this. Look, what you should plan to skip is a very personal decision. We are adults. I believe most of the community is anyways, and things happen throughout the week. You might have an emergency, you might get busy, you might have to do something with your significant other, you might have kids that you can't dedicate time to the game one night of the day. And I believe that's the reason why we are giving a few extra points to skip, because you might have worked very hard to get all the way to 920 points, and all of a sudden there's an event that has to be done tonight, but you have a life and something will happen and you won't be able to get those points, and luckily you'll have a few extra points. If you plan to skip the first champion chase that might have 200 points on it, because you say, oh, I don't have a lot of crystals, this is going to be a lot of grind, they're harder for me, I want to save for something else, but I'm really going for this, so I'll be safe if I skip this 200 points. And then you don't know what's in the back end and what's coming because they didn't provide any information. There's no transparency, and something happens if you missed it, you're out of luck now. So I think the best plan is always to attempt to do everything. And when you have all the information, when you know what's happening these last 2 weeks, you can choose an event that you're gonna skip points on individually that works for you. That's the best way I find to do it, because when I have followed other plans that say, oh, just skip this right now, don't use your secrets in the summons rush, save them for something else, this Titan event don't have that many resources. Well, I might do that, and then in the back end I'm not able to do something else and I miss what I needed. It's happened in previous fusions. I have a smaller account. I think most of the community have accounts my sizes. We're not crackheads that can spend all the time and put money into this. So maybe 10% of the community is, but I doubt the other 90% are. So the best way I find to approach these events are not to go in it with your mindset that I'm going to skip this in the first 2 weeks of announcements of events that we're going to get when you look at the calendar, but to say, let me try to do everything I can. If I can't get to the top milestone of a champ chase, where that might be, sometimes they split them off 50 points and 150 points higher up, and you miss a few points here and there, you need to keep track and keep in mind that you cannot miss more than 250 to get the last milestone. And even if you're not going for the soul for Pelops, which you can later sell and get some coins, right? There are some resources here that you should want. You should want mythical books to save them all up. Eternal Soul Essence. In my account, I don't use them a lot. I try to save them. I usually buy epic 6-star souls with them because I find that the legendary ones are way too expensive. But you want a mythical chaos, or you want legendary books, even if you get a ton of them from Clan Boss. I love XP barrels because I can take a 6-star from 0 to level 60 right away without having to grind for hours. I can always use 5-star chickens. This is one of the new glyphs. The ones that are higher are rare glyph. We have not had enough of them in the game. They're rolling them out very slowly. I'm not sure why that is, because we all definitely need them. But we get one of them here, and at the end of the event, we also have other speed glyphs to have. We have another speed glyph towards the end at around 920 points. We have another speed glyphs by 510 points. I mean, those are the type of resources most players always want. It doesn't matter how many you have of them, you always need more. And of course, we also have the relics. Um, I have some of these relics. They're not the greatest, but it doesn't hurt to have them. So most players should be going for this event, doing as much as you can on the events there are, whether it's classic arena. If you don't want to grind the tough events, like put 2,000 energy into Dragon or Ice Golem or Fire Knight, just to get something that's gonna get you to the end, even though you don't need a soul for pileups, that's fine. Do the other easier events. But if you need to plan for your week, always plan to dedicate some time every night so that you can get through. And when you have all the information at the end as to what's coming at the end, what the events are, then you can decide what to skip. Deciding what to skip ahead of time while you're guessing what's going to happen, to me, that's always proven to be a plan for failure. I don't have a lot of resources. I'm not the type of account that is always sitting on a lot of shards, right? Look how little shards I have, and I don't expect my account to ever get anything from Plarium, because I'm not gonna join their content creator program, and that's not something I'm interested in. And we'll talk about that in another video. But basically, you should plan to participate in events. The other events we have is this Verdant Deck of Fate that started about 24 hours ago. I already jump in. Basically, the way I do these, since I don't spend money, is if I have souls for champions that I don't have because they were good souls or they were mythical souls, the chances that I'm going to get those mythicals are very low. I've been playing for over a year and a half, and I have 3 mythicals, and only 2 have come from a crystal. So what I usually do, especially to get the big soul stones over here, the eternal ones, is I sell my souls. There is no guarantee that I'm going to get those mythicals, and my account could be improved a lot better by selling those souls, getting the points in a deck of fate, especially when there's a guaranteed champion that you can get out of a deck of fate, right? That's a guaranteed reward that you can get right now, and then using those points towards the deck of fate and opening my stones. If you have large soul stones, like a 6-star for a mythical, that's 2 eternal soul stones. If you have a 5-star legendary 6-star soul, that's gonna be 1,000 coins. That's another eternal soul stone right now. Usually in these deck of fates, the eternal soul stone give you the largest amount of points. In this case, it'll be 4,500. I never seen them below 3,500, but it's about more than 10 times what the little ones are. So it's definitely what you want to be doing. In my opinion, I know that this is not a popular opinion. That's not what the YouTubers and the people that have been playing the game for a long time are going to tell you to do. That is just what works for me at the moment in the year and a half that I've been playing this account. So that's how I go about it. I went ahead and I sold. I opened about 3 of my Immortal Soul Stones, and so far I've opened maybe 17 of the Mortal ones. And that's how I got my points sometimes. And I would say I got about 1,500 points from grinding. It's very hard to get points from grinding. I don't understand how people get 20,000 energy without putting a lot of money into the game. I've seen some people that have 50,000 energy, over 30,000 energy. The moment you get the cap 130 energy, you can't accrue any more energy on time alone, right? So you have to keep it empty. And the only way I can see for people to constantly have energy to get that number to the tens of thousands is to be buying packs. I don't buy energy packs unless they're a very good deal, which to me is more than 250 energy per dollar, which I still think expensive, right? If you need energy to be actively engaged in the game, to be dedicating time to the game, right, it should be provided to you, right? They should not have a platform where you are discouraged from doing things in the game because you don't have energy, you don't have what you need, and it's essential just to move in the game. and expect that you are going to buy the energy in order to do that. That seems silly to me, but hey, I understand that this is how most games do it. I just think that the cap here that they had from the very beginning is very low. Anyways, not to get too sidetracked here and get this video too long, this is what I got in so far from the deck of fate. I plan to get a few more cards here by grinding and see what I can get. My goal is to at least get some of the mythical materials. That's the only reason I'm opening things, and see if I can get 25, maybe 50. And I'm going to sell everything that I get from Hydra this week in order to see if I can open another Eternal Soulstone. I think that would be helpful. If I can open 2 more during this event, that would be great. That's about as much as I expect to do. Like I said, you shouldn't always plan to do everything. If you can, if you don't have the resources and it's not possible, it's okay to do part of it and do the best you can. That's how I'm approaching this event. For the Pelops Titan event, I'm definitely gonna try to go for the 5-star soul here. It's guaranteed I have him. Why wouldn't I do that? I definitely want this mythical book for my Nice that I got about 3 weeks ago. I want the speed glyphs. I need more speed for my RVs. So anything that I could get to give her more speed other than the soul, I'm willing to do. She's sitting about 418 right now, and my stats to me look like they hit a max, right? 4 roll on the speed here with almost 8, which is the top of the glyphs that you normally get. Every piece of gear has a triple or quad roll on it, right? And then it has the max stat. So I run out of ways to put more speed on her. So if I could get one of these new speed glyphs that's gonna allow me to go past 8, then that's the goal. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I really want to put more speed on her. I seen that really big accounts usually have speed all the way up to 500. And if I could even get to 450, I'd be very, very happy, because I don't anticipate getting a soul for her anytime soon. Anyways, that's basically what I wanted to express. It's the out there opinion that you should not plan ahead of time to skip events, right? When they're giving you information basically dripping down piece by piece, because if you skip something now and then you decide for whatever reason at the end that you really want to go to the end, and you in the last 2 weeks they drop events that are harder to do, like they have done in the past, where they put some of the points in a path event or something else, that will have another path event in the next 4 weeks, but they do surprise you to try to get you to spend, and you're stuck and you have to decide whether you want to spend money or not. Simply try to do the events as they come to you. Try to do all of them, and if in the last 2 weeks, when you know what all the events are going to be, you decide to skip 250 points, wonderful. I did that for this fusion. I went into the fusion thinking, let me see if I'm gonna be able to get a March fusion for the first time ever. Let me try to get everything. I actually managed to do all the champions and the path event, the 2 rares and the epic, and that made this fusion for so much easier. And it was the first time I got a anniversary champion from an anniversary event. I was not able to get Fabian in the past, and I don't think I was playing the game for the past one. So I'm very happy I was able to get one. And once I did the event, I was so relieved because everything was easier. And the only thing that I skipped was this dragon tournament at the very end. I said, look, I don't want to wait till the end to fuse my rares. I might as well just skip one event so I don't waste the energy. I'll keep 3 rares. I have 3 other rares because I did all the other events, and I fused my champion during the champ chase 2-3 days ago as soon as I could, and he's been sitting here as you saw to get him level up. So it's nice to have some breathing room at the end, because I didn't decide to skip at the very beginning. So that's what I would say. Try to go into everything the best way you can. Participate every day and see what happens. That way, if you have an emergency, if something happens, something interrupts your daily life tends to do, then you have the breathing room to get to the end of the event or the tournament that you're doing. That's how I find it's best to do it. That's all I can offer to you guys right now on the events that are live. I apologize if you made it to the end of the video, if there are any sound issues. I don't have a studio. I'm new to trying out posting on YouTube. Basically doing it because my daughter challenged me to go and make YouTube videos, and I was complaining every single day about this game and about the things I was seeing and about the problems with the game. So she kept telling me every day, why don't you make a YouTube video? Why don't you put it on YouTube? And even though I don't know how to edit videos, and I don't have a microphone, and I don't have a studio, and I still have to watch a video to figure out how the YouTubers basically get a really nice cutout video on themselves talking on top of the screen that they're looking at. I will learn how to do that soon, and hopefully maybe these videos will be better. If they don't sound amazing and they are not as professional as the other videos that are out there, I will learn to do them better. Hopefully someone enjoys this and I said something that was helpful to you. It's so great. If not, sorry for taking so much of your time. Thank you for coming and watching. If you can share, I would really appreciate it. If you can like this video, you found any advice here that was helpful, or I mentioned anything, that's great. If there's something you'd like me to talk about that you want me to express, please let me know. Please let me know what I can say and how I can grow the channel, or what you want to discuss and what type of information you need for your account, rather than just me guessing and throwing it out there. I do have some plans for some issues that I have with the game that I want to express, and some things that don't make any sense at all on upcoming videos, and I'll try to post those as soon as I can. Once again, thank you for watching. Oh, before I forget, there's one more thing I wanted to share. That was the resources that I use to track events. Unfortunately, the game has a lot of last minute information, and unless you go on Excel and track what you're doing, you have to look for third-party applications and things in order to do what's needed to do in game. And I have found these two great sites that are really helpful. So if you look right now on the Titan event and you go to rsl-x.versal.app, I saw this on another YouTuber's video. I don't remember who exactly. They have here this tool that's organized. It's very neat. It's best if you see it on a PC, but you can come in and you can dig down onto the current event, and it'll give you a perfectly laid out calendar of what's happened, of the information we have so far. It's always up to date and available as soon as the event starts. Whoever is keeping up this site is great. Please support them. It's a wonderful resource for us to use to plan ahead of time. I'm gonna put it on the link to the video so everybody can get to it, and you can basically click on these as you're doing them to keep track of your points, to see how you're doing, and to basically plan for yourself. And it's also a good way for you to deduct if you miss something, right, and know how much you are missing, what else you can skip. And then there's another site that does this that I've been using for videos, and it's from a YouTuber called Fastidious. He has amazing energy when he's doing his videos. I watch his videos, whether he's talking about his account, opening charts, and his experience with the game. And he has this website that's split between the two games that he plays, and he has some resources here for Raid Shadow Legends. He has a Mercy tracker, which I use. I guess I have to log in to show you that, so we'll do that some other time. And he has a Fusion Planner. This is the Fusion Planner for the past Fusion, Pelops the Victor. It allows you to click on here and plan as you are doing the events and decide what you're gonna skip. These are awesome resources. It also lets you know what you are gonna need in order to level all these champions up and fuse them to get to the fusion, so you can start planning to basically grind for these resources if you don't already have them, and get an idea of how much you're gonna need to fuse them on time. That is a wonderful planning tool. I don't understand why the game don't have a way to plan for this on their website, maybe in the profiles they create for individuals, because it's something that is needed for the game, right? This is why other individuals are going out to do this, and that's wonderful that we have third-party resources. Please give support to Fastidious, and especially in his YouTube videos, and to show him our thanks for having tools like this, and also to RSL .x. Let's go to the homepage to see if we have more information as to who makes this. I'm not sure who does, but I think it's related to RSL Helper. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I only started using this site during the Path event. That's when I saw it, a YouTuber present it, and it's a wonderful site. I mean, you have tools here to calculate anything you need. Mercy tracker, which looks really nice. You basically come in here every time you open your chart and you put them on there. It gets saved the data, and you can come and keep track of your stones very easily, so you know when your chances have increased and where you are. So that's super neat. It has the ability to import directly from RSL Helper. I mean, these are wonderful resources. Please, if you watch this, go and support these individuals, because they are actually going out and creating something to help all of us, and that's just wonderful. Once again, thank you. Sorry I didn't mention that at the beginning, because I'm sure not everybody is one who watched to the very end, but if you made it to the very end, you got that little tidbit of information that I happen to forget. So thank you once again for watching, and I really enjoy putting my opinion out there. Please do support me by sharing and liking this video. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thanks for watching, Raiders. Now if you can please share, like and subscribe, then go fight throughout Teleria.